All right, welcome back, everybody, to FM Projects. And the November to Remember starts right here as we take on Tai'an Tianquang. Tai'an here are seventh in the league, doing pretty well for a squad that nobody was expecting to do much of anything. But, of course, we're number one with a, what is it now, 18 game winning streak in the league. And we just keep on rolling through other teams, and we keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. And we're favorites here for this home match. And all that frost and snow that we saw yesterday is gone today. And here we go. And it's Tai'an with the ball here early on. And let's see if we can get the ball off of them and make something happen. And Park Myung-sung, who had to sit out the last one, starts it off by fouling his counterpart there on the left side. And we'll see what happens here. Songbo now with the corner for Tai'an, taking his time. And that one's nowhere near the goal. And we're not seeing much of anything yet so far, about 15 minutes into this match, and I'm kind of wondering exactly what's going on. A bunch of players here with those 6.6 ratings, which is not what we're used to seeing this early on. Hanji now with it over to Park Myung-sung. Park Myung-sung moves up. Park Myung-sung back to Hanjin. And he goes all the way back over to Paulson, over to Wade. Wade over, he had Kim Yong-il, who hasn't been doing anything in this game once again, and he ends up going back to Yeji over to Mr. Kwon. Mr. Kwon, whose name I'm finally bringing up for the first time. And he gets it over to Wade for a shot. Hanjin then has another shot. Both are stopped by the keeper, and we end up with nothing out of that, which is a real shame and kind of an embarrassment for us. Mr. Kwon doing what he can to put this forward. Good header by Wade. Even better shot by Hanjin at point-blank range. And I can't fault either one of those shots. It's simply a good play by Tung Xiang-kun, who is the goalkeeper for Tai'an. And we need to score some goals here, guys. We're 21 minutes into this. What are you waiting for? Kim Yong-il too slow to get back onto that one, and his man beats him once again. And he's able to get around in front of him this time and finally wakes up, gets onto the ball, brings it up the pitch, going, and it's a good run from Kim Yong-il back to Yejian now over to Mr. Kwon. Mr. Kwon kind of pops that one up, and I guess that was a shot on goal. That was a ridiculous shot on goal, and if that one had gone in, I think we'd all be looking for a refund. Here comes Paulson now. Paulson with the corner. And looking for Mr. Kwon, and it's far too deep and not a particularly good corner. As I've said before, I don't think I've ever had a football manager team with any good corner takers. Kim Yong-il tries this time, and that's also a poor corner, and Paulson ends up with it. And he brings it up, looking for Hanjin, and able to find him over to Wade, and that is out for a throw for us. And I'm not sure I fully understand why Paul gave up on that one. Kim Yong-il now over to Avaglia, and he has a shot on goal, and unfortunately that's not really going anywhere. It's not troubling anybody, and the game goes onwards, and Hanjin is having a bad match. Kim Yong-il is having a bad match, and all of this inconsistency that we have hidden on this club is starting to show its ugly face as Kim Yong-il with the ball back to Hanjin, over to Park Myung-sung, over to Wade. And this is going to sound really strange for a team that's won so many games in a row, but I tell you, after these winter transfers come in, we're going to see a lot of changes in the squad once we get players who can replace these guys who are inconsistent or who hate big matches. It's ridiculous to have to be able to play players who don't really want to be here and don't really want to play. Kim Yong-il with the corner this time. And it goes up, and once again, we're unable to get a head onto it. Paulson saves it with an impressive cross from out of nowhere, and Kim Yong-il ends up pushing it out of bounds. And it ends up being a totally ridiculous play from us, and we're still struggling to find this first goal. Mr. Kwon back to Torres. Torres now had Rovaglia, couldn't find him. Rovaglia misplays that one, and everybody looks like they're playing poorly, and this is not boding well for us. I tell you, this is really going to be one to remember if we lose this match and we don't have a goal yet and we can't say whether we're safe or not. And there's one for that Paulson's able to get back to Mr. Kwon, over to Yeji now. Yeji over to Kim Yong-il. Kim Yong-il just stands there, doesn't know what he's doing with it. Finally goes back to Torres, over to Mr. Kwon. Mr. Kwon now, and he finds Kim Yong-il, and there you go, son. He goes to Kim Kung-jin instead of taking the shot himself, and Kim Kung-jin just runs into the goaltender, and that ends it. Mr. Kwon with an excellent pass forward. Kim Yong-il has got to take this himself. I mean, he's got to. Look at all the space that he's got, and instead he decides to pass it into traffic. I'm really confused as to what's going on. I mean, what's going on through his head? Boy. Here comes Mr. Kwon now over to Kim Yong-il. Kim Yong-il over to Kim Kung-jin. This time finds him with some space. And, man, that's that Thor hammer of a foot that he's got. And fortunately for Tai'an, they're able to make the save. Kim Yong-il now with the corner. Kim Yong-il kicks it up and looking for Mr. Kwon and able to find him. Park Myung-sung now back to Kim Yong-il, who just gives up on it. I mean, this is the sort of way he was playing before. I thought for a little while there that he had broken that inconsistent string, and we're seeing it again today. And the game is starting to go a little bit choppy here, which also has me concerned since we have it on low graphical settings. Am I supposed to blame OBS or am I supposed to blame Football Manager? You tell me. Here comes Kim Yong-il with a shot, and that one's wild. And this is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to have a talk with this man and let him know that this is not acceptable. We have a number of players here on 6.3 ratings. We're used to guys having 10 ratings by halftime. So this is kind of unusual. I hope that you decided to tune into this because this is not something that you often see on this channel. Kim Yong-il now backwards, looking again for Kim Kung-jin, who's unable to get any sort of foot onto it at all. Han-jin over to Wade now, back to Park Myung-sung. Park Myung-sung takes it up laterally, and he's going to have a shot. I was about to say he can shoot from there. He does have a shot, and he's wide open for the shot and unable to get anything, and this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. The fans are booing us off the pitch. I'm not happy with your performance, and we're going to go after some of these guys individually, and both of you are coming off. It's absolutely ridiculous, and you're going to see some fines levied after this one. It's absolutely ridiculous from Kim Kung-jin. We'll put Hwang Bo-eun back on there and see if he can get something going. And Han-jin is probably, as much as I like him and as much as I like his personality, he's probably seeing the end of his time in this squad. If he's having bad games at this level, I mean, once we're promoted, and you know we're going to be promoted at the end of the season, we're going to have to make some improvements, and we're going to have to get some more professional players to play and people who actually have the ability to play, and he just doesn't have it. Ravaglia now with the first goal, and that was a well-executed play, well created by Liu Yue. And Rovaglia has been in a little bit of a scoring drought, but that's ended right here. 1-0 Yanbian FC. Yeje with a good idea, brings it up all by himself, gets that little pop of a cross. Liu just heads it over to Rovaglia, and he hits that first time with the left foot, and there's no way that the keeper's going to stop that. And we finally have broken through, and that's looking pretty good. Paulson now with it, over to Park Myung-sung. Park Myung-sung over to Hwang Bo-eun, and that's a ridiculous shot by Hwang Bo-eun. He was offside anyway. We need to figure out here for Hwang Bo-eun how to beat that sort of offside trap. You can see right there he's clearly offside. He's offside by at least a stride, if not two. And, I mean, needs to be able to get past that. Kim Yong-il now is having a really, really poor game. Over to Hwang Bo-eun, back to Liu Yue, over to Wade. Back to Park Myung-sung, over to Liu Yue again. He has a shot that just grazes the top of the goal, and that was a nice thought. I think, though, that Kim Yong-il likely is going to come out here soon. They're giving him a good rating, but I don't see how he's done anything positive from what little I've seen of him. Torres, back to Liu Yue. If you think differently, let me know. Send me a comment. Let me know what you think. Liu Yue now, after that little give and go with Rovaglia that didn't do anything. Liu Yue trying to get the defenders off of him, ends up going back to Park Myung-sung, over to Yeje. And you want to see him cross it there instead of take that shot. We don't need Yeje to shoot. I don't know what he's thinking, but whatever. It's all right. It was a thought. It was something. Other things weren't working right. So Liu Yue now kicks it forward to Kim Yong-il. Kim Yong-il, if he doesn't make something happen here, he's coming off. He does make it happen. He kind of flops and goes down and gets the penalty. I don't know about that. You think that was actually a penalty? I think there was a little bit of flop there, a little bit of belly flop action, and there's Mr. Kwon hitting the penalty. We always hold our breath when Mr. Kwon takes those penalties. He's missed 2 so far this season. You know, there's nothing on this squad, nothing at all that is guaranteed, I'll tell you that. Mr. Kwon, though, able to put that one deep into that back corner, and it's 2-0 Yanbian FC. We can breathe a little bit easier now. We have the lead, and we have a lead of more than 1 goal. And they haven't really looked like getting one on target. And I'm wondering if they didn't try to park the bus as soon as they came out here, or what exactly happened. I mean, that's a ridiculous attempt by Tai'an. I'm not quite sure what they're going for there and what they think they're going to get at. Hoyu now has it back to Torres. Torres takes it, slows it down, back to Yeje. Yeje, and this is the reason why he's playing that right fullback role. That's the reason why he had that shot. Over to Kim Yong-il. Kim Yong-il now from that far right side back to Mr. Kwon, and there's another penalty. Oh, man. I don't know about that one. Mr. Kwon looks like he took a tumble as well. Maybe he'll get a hat trick of penalties today. We'll see. And we'll see if he puts us up here, and he does. And the keeper looked really, really foolish on that one. It's 3-0 Yanbian FC, and that's 2 goals here for Mr. Kwon. He hasn't really done much of anything except done a little bit of gymnastics, a little bit of tumbling work there in the penalty box. And, hey, man, if it works, go for it. 3-0 Yanbian. Go right now with the shot, and this game is hopefully we're going to start putting this one out of hand. Wang Bowen now with Tai'an. He's been having a good season. I've seen his name pop up before. And I've thought about scouting him, actually, and he's able to create at least something here over to Ranjin. And that is off the woodwork of the goal. So you might wonder why Hoyu is back in there. I finally have gotten down to forgiving him after that poor performance where he gave up 4 goals. Just looking at the goalkeeper stats, and he's obviously one of the better goalkeepers, not just on the team, but in the league. And so I finally have gotten over my frustration with him, and he's back in the squad. Yejia now over to Huang Bowen. Huang Bowen back to Yejia. Yejia and Huang Bowen, who was recently fined, had better show up. And Huang Bowen has a cross over to the Liu, and that was a good cross by Huang Bowen, just not enough enough on that header from Liu to impress anybody. He's not in the doghouse, I'll tell you, but there are a couple boys who are in the doghouse here who we just took off. I don't like either one of those performances, and here's Huang Bowen, and they may score here. And they just come about an inch or two of scoring. That would have been some goal. That would have made me very cross, I'll tell you that. Hoyu not having the best of all games in goal. And like I said before, we have reinforcements coming. Once we get to January 1st, we're going to see new players and numerous new goaltenders here. We have an XG of a little bit over 4. We've only scored 3 goals. I mean, you win some, you lose some, right? But we need to be playing better here. Liu Yue now with the corner. Over to Mr. Kwon, who I thought might have been fouled again. That would have been hilarious. Yejeb now back to Huang Bowen, who was playing way back as he's short. Has a shot from about a mile away. It's like shooting from half court in basketball. I don't know what he's doing or what he's thinking. You're not Steph Curry. Don't try it. Yejeb now with the throw and over to Huang Bowen. Huang Bowen takes it back, looks at it, thinks about it, over to Park Myung-sung. Park Myung-sung with a shot. That was a good shot. Good save by this Tung Shang-kun. Another goaltender that we probably should be scouting and buying up here. I'll take a look at him at the end of this match. If he's any good, I'll buy him. I don't care how many we have. We'll buy them all. We'll loan them all out. Why not? The Chinese clubs have to use Chinese goaltenders anyway. There's a little cynical foul by Tai'an. It doesn't matter. That's the end of the match. And Yanbian FC have come away with the win by the skin of our teeth. We've come away with it 3-0. Not what I thought we were going to get today. And once again, we've proven that we're not really that good against better teams, but still good enough to sort of win. We're going to see fines there for Han Jin and for Kim Kung Jin. So watch out for that. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.